Hi friends, welcome back. So we saw the harder way of how to import the data that we have into cognitive search. But this video is going to show you a simpler, probably a way easier way than doing it programmatically. So let's walk through what we can do with cognitive search. So if you remember right, I have already created the movie lens cognitive search service. Under the service, we already have this index that we have created, which is called movie lens, and it has about 45,000 rows of data. And obviously, we can go to the search explorer here. You can pick the index that you want to query, and then you can say maybe Harry Potter, maybe Potter and facet equals cast. Say right, for instance, and then you can get all the facets. You can say Chris Potter, Emily Watson, etc. And then you can actually get the matches for Potter, right, Miss Potter, etc. Right, so we got this working. So now cognitive search is not all about programming and all that. So you can actually even import the data directly into the search engine, and then you can actually enhance it with cognitive and whatnot. So we'll just kind of walk through that piece and see what we can achieve by doing that, right? So the first thing what I have done is basically created a small storage account. So if you go back to the home, and if you go to user 64 resource group, then I actually have a storage account created. So I created a simple storage account, nothing fancy. It's not ADLS storage. So if you come back here, you can see that the hierarchical namespaces are disabled. So it's a simple hierarchical namespace is disabled. So it's a simple blob service. So once you create your blob service account, then you kind of go to the containers, and then you can add plus container, and you can create a new container. And once you go into the container, you can actually upload your blob. So this is the exact same file I have uploaded that we were using for the indexing and uploading it to the index. So this I have uploaded and kept it ready so that we don't waste time in uploading and waiting for the uploads to complete, etc. So this is the JSON documents contain all the movies. So this is exactly the same document. If you see this one, there's all the 40,000, 45,000 kind of movies sitting here, right? So once those two are ready to go, then we can jump to the cognitive search site and you can click on this import data. So when you click on the import data, you can click on existing data source, or you can kind of. But I mean, you don't have any data source because we don't have one. But if you have a storage account and have multiple files, we can say existing data source and pull the data. But in this case, right, we'll put Azure Blob Storage. Here you can say movie lens blob storage, something like that. And what do you want to extract? It's content and metadata, all metadata, storage metadata, content and metadata, because definitely content is what matters. Parsing mode, you can see JSON array, lines, limited metadata text. This is like automatically you can do. But in this case, it's JSON, right? So it's JSON lines, right? So JSON lines. Because you can see, right, every row is one line and it is JSON and it has multiple documents, right? So here is where you connect to the connection to the connect to the storage account, and you can see it connects back to this storage account, right? It connects to the storage account, and let's see here, and this is the container. So we pick that one and we just select. So what happens here is it connects to this storage account, and you can see that it is actually using the account key, right? But if you want SAS signatures or something like that, we can actually change that to this. After we generate the SAS URL, we can actually connect to this one and paste it there. If you want temporary access and don't want to share the account key, but in this case, it's a simple use case, so we can use that. Or you can actually go with managed identities. You can do system assigned or user assigned managed identity, and then you can give power to the managed identity to look at the data set, right? So one thing to remember here is a blob folder. Only when you have ADLS is folders come into play. But in our case, there is such a flat blob storage, so not no folders, right? So you can just give some command. This is the movie lens data. So we do that, and then we can jump to the next section. So as it does that, it detects the schema, and then it allows us to kind of go through this one, right? So it detected the schema of the JSON documents that we have put in there. So these are the cool things that we can do. So if you see here, right, so this is the data, we ingested the data, And now what you can do is you can actually apply cognitive search, cognitive services on top of it. So if you kind of click on read more here, it can do a lot of things. You can actually, if it's in a different language, you can actually translate the data in there. And if you want to do enrichment of the data, like, I mean, if you have like OCR and stuff like that in there, it can actually read that data with OCR. It can detect for PII. It can even look for sentiment. If it's a blob of text, right, it can actually extract sentiment. It can do translations. It can recognize entities. So if you have certain famous personalities that are there in the document, then it actually can recognize that entity, and then it can actually tag it. So a lot of cool things you can do, and of course, we can play around with it, right? So that is the first thing, and it has to be in the same region, right? So that's you can do. You can attach this to cognitive services. Then you can actually enrich the data. So based on a particular field that you have here, right? So you can actually take that. In our case, cast. I'm not seeing cast, but maybe it doesn't recognize arrays. So if you did have simple fields, maybe overview, right? Maybe overview. You can take overview, and you can say sentences, or right, source field. It's okay enough, right? So you can actually, using the overview of the movies, we can do things like extract location names, extract people names, extract key phrases, right? And then you can see what's happening here, right? So the moment you check these things, it's actually going to create new fields inside the data set. Um, of course, detect language is not needed because it's all English. Um, but you can definitely see the power. So, and if you have PII information, you can definitely extract that, right? Then what you can do is, once you enrich this, you can also store that into a language store. So you can actually put that into a knowledge store, and these are the tables that will be exposed, and then you can actually show Power BI reports on top of it. So that's I think maybe we can try those things in a later video maybe, but I just want to show that piece. But now we can just skip this index. So I can just skip that for now. We just go there. We can create an index here. We can call it maybe movie lens import index, just for fun. And you can pick what is the key, right? You can basically pick what the field was. So you can pick movie ID was the key. And then you can actually add a lot of things here, like all the things that we did in the code, you actually can apply, right? You can say retrievable. Obviously, retrievable. I think you can make everything retrievable. Just same thing, right? You can get all of that. And if you want to hide some fields, of course, you can get rid of it. Then facetable. I definitely want to see is it an adult versus non-adult, so you can facet that. Then you can facet on the language, right? And you don't want to facet on title, overview, etc. Popularity, revenue, runtime, vote count, vote average. All those don't matter for faceting perspective, but definitely keywords is a good candidate for faceting, and genre is definitely a good one for faceting. And I think the original language also is a good one, which you already picked, right? So that is it kind of gives you all this automation, right? And you don't have to do anything manually sitting there and trying to index. And so the next step is to go and create an indexer. And then if you see here, right, you can actually do custom indexing, right? So as the data keeps flowing in, you basically can keep it indexing once an hour, once a day, whatever you want, right? Based on your use case. And then you can do once for now. So now indexes the data on start, right? Because it's not not revise. It's not revising. It's just once, right? So then you submit it. So this is exactly what we did, but completely to the UI. So just wanted to show you that piece so that you can kind of understand that there is a very simple way of doing things, and you don't have to go complicated all the way. So if you see, right, this is the index. It's going to it'll take some time, but pretty soon you will be able to see that it will start indexing the data. And maybe let's see here if there's anything in the import configure. Click here to monitor the index, right? So click on that and you can actually see the timed out. That's interesting. um, let's see here. Let's go run again. Sure. Yes. So we're starting the indexing again. I don't know what this is, but let's refresh. Yeah, I think there's some issue here, but the idea is, it will run through and talks 20 seconds, something maybe off here. But yeah, you get the picture. Oh, I think, yeah, the cognitive subscription. Only 20 documents can be finished at a time. So yeah, I'll play around with it, but I mean, the idea is to show a quick demo of what is possible and how you can easily integrate and chain different things together to kind of build a more powerful solution, right? So I will try to set up this cognitive services, and then I will try to kind of run a simple demo where I can look through the overview of the movies. Like if you go back here, right? Go back to this one. Sorry, not cognitive. If you go back there, it has the movie lens cognitive search, right? So if you go search explorer here, um, I don't think this will have any data, but let's try. Okay, yeah, I did index 20 rows, looks like. So this is one. So you can see all the data that's been indexed, and it has taken all these document key and all that. See where it came from, metadata, information, etc. Key phrases. So this is pretty cool, right? This is the cognitive piece, which is a great thing. Like, you can use that for searching. Let's see here, like key phrases, right? This was all done through the cognitive. And because it was free, right, it didn't work, but it at least gives you a good idea. These are all the key phrases, right? Same way. But these are all our data, right? Say genre and all that. We have seen that it's our data. But this is the cognitive enhancement, key phrases, people, right? These locations, right? So that is the cool part. So you can see, right, this itself. If I say, give me all the movies that are kind of located in LA, kind of gives you a very quick way to search against that, right? So just I think that should do it for this video. I just want to give that yeah, kind of a quick overview of how we can do this, and I will try to set up something more exhaustive. I'll set up like the cognitive search service. Sorry, the cognitive service, and then we can actually do a full-fledged all the 45,000 rows, kind of run through this and then compare what we uploaded before with this key phrases. Right? I think if you kind of see key phrases and keywords, hopefully they should match, but sometimes they don't. So it is actually yeah, see this one, yeah, keywords didn't even match, but this one has figured out all this is there through the overview. So like it went to this overview. Marty Lakewood is a reporter of force 2, right? So that's what it has read through, and it has come up with all these key phrases. So thank you for just watching. Hopefully this is kind of interesting, and as we enhance it, I think it becomes more and more powerful. Thank you.